What is up, crypto community? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. I want to talk about a lot going on in the financial world, specifically more banks falling. I know over the course of the past decade and then more so in the past year, we saw a lot of banks fail, but there's more information that's come to light now. And if you didn't think de-dollarization was a trend, this headline should just solidify that even more. Saudi Arabia officially joins the BRICS nations, and the BRICS nations are growing month by month and taking away more of that market share away from the US dollar. Saudi Arabia being one of the leading producers of oil. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these BRICS nations. This positive Ripple blog post, this is from head of product marketing at Ripple. After 3 years of being relatively quiet due to the SEC case, Ripple is ready to make some noise, announcing today that their money transmitter licenses cover almost the entire US, while liquidity pools are live and ready to roll out. They said, we are excited to wrap up January 2024 with fresh updates. Building. 90% of our business is outside the US. After being relatively quiet for the past 3 years in the US for Ripple payments, we're geared up to announce a new product update powered by our money transmitter licenses that cover the majority of the US states. To get the ball rolling, we're hosting a meetup for folks in the fintech space at our San Francisco's headquarters. Join us for a light panel. So we've been seeing headlines over the course of the past few months about these money transmitter licenses. And I guess Ripple behind our backs has actually acquired these MTLs, which is regulatory clarity, in most of the United States provinces. Really quick, guys, if you need a spot to get XRP or Flare, check out Uphold in the video description below. It's where I dollar cost average to get my XRP daily. And if you want $41 for free to get some more crypto, sign up with Webull, deposit 1 penny, and you're guaranteed $41 in free stocks. Sell your stocks, close your account, do whatever you want, but don't miss out on this great offer from Webull. A link is in the video description below. Now, if you guys don't already follow this guy, his name is Ian Carroll, Cancel C Loco on Twitter. Makes a lot of great videos. This one specifically about bank failures in 2024. Take a listen.
The banks are getting scared. They're trying to change the rules so they don't go under. I'm for real. The other day, New York Community Bank woke up like this. Q bank failures 2024. And just a couple of days ago, they tried to pass this new rule about derivatives, and the implications are super spicy. So a quick refresher, derivatives, meaning like bets in the stock market that can go completely hog wild, are what caused 2008 to collapse. It was one specific type of derivative that they were super hyped on at the time, but derivatives in general allow for banks to just go absolutely fucking apeshit with all kinds of speculation on huge amounts of leverage. So if they're wrong, if things go badly, the whole economy can collapse. And after it almost did, Obama signed this wonderful bill called Dodd-Frank that totally was going to change everything. He said, quote, Wall Street reform, Dodd-Frank, the laws that we have passed worked. It's popular in the media and political discourse, both on the left and the right, to suggest that the crisis happened and nothing changed. That is not true. Sorry, I should be doing my Obama voice. That is not true. We are moving in the derivative sector, a huge amount of oversight. Fuck that, we don't have time for all that in his voice. Basically, the idea was all these derivatives that are just shady backdoor deals, banks betting with other banks without telling anyone else what they're betting on with huge amounts of money that is not all theirs. A lot of it doesn't even exist because they're banking on leverage. Obama promised that they were all going to come into the light and be traded on exchanges so we could regulate them and everything would be safe from here on out. And that is why, as of the most recent report, JP Morgan is holding $58 trillion worth of derivatives, closely followed by Goldman Sachs and Citibank. For a little perspective here, I took the GDP of all of the biggest countries in the world, and I put them on this cute little chart scaled in trillions of dollars. And if you add up every country except the US, all these ones highlighted in red, then you get that blue bar, $55 trillion. That's all of them except the US added together. Remember, gross domestic product. Everything that those countries, all of these countries combined creates of value in an entire year. And that red bar is JP Morgan alone, how much derivatives they are currently holding open. Just for scale. But Obama told us that don't worry, it's not gonna be dangerous, they're gonna be all regulated and out in the open market, and it's gonna be safe. And that is why, as of the most recent reporting last year, 96% of JP Morgan's trades are over the counter, meaning in dark markets where they are not regulated and they are not reported. Only 3% of their derivatives contracts traded on exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange. And this is for every single bank. Some of them are 100% over the counter. This is the exact opposite of what Obama told us they were going to do with the derivatives market. And shocker, derivatives got so popular into 2008. And what happened next? Nothing. They stayed really popular. Because this is the number one way for banks and big rich financial institutions to take our money. And they've already been shown that when they fuck up, they get bailed out. And that brings us to this new regulation that they just tried to get through. And for all you dipshits out there that are always trying to be like, this is notional value, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, we know what notional value is, guys. Sit tight while we learn about this new rule, because notional value matters. I first caught wind of this just a few days ago when this Reddit user, What Can I Make Today, posted and broke this whole bill down. If you Google what you're seeing on the screen here, you can find this post. And yes, I went and corroborated what he's claiming on the official government websites. The law itself is a long document with a whole bunch of legalese that's very confusing. But basically what it's saying is, when the markets are really crazy, how about if we just let the big banks while it's really crazy, let's just not margin call them. See, when the banks or anyone places derivative bets on the market, they have to have a certain amount of collateral just in case the trade goes wrong. Particularly because all of these trades are being done on margin, meaning money they don't actually have. But sometimes the market does crazy things and gets what we call volatile. And they're worried that that could threaten the stability of its members during periods of heightened volatility. Oh, by the way, its members, referring to the OCC, this is their member directory. We're talking people like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Vanguard, Virtue, Instinet, Citigroup, Bank of America, NASDAQ, you get the idea. Not you filthy peasant. And they're worried that if the market gets crazy, a sudden extreme increase in margin requirements could stress one of their members' ability to obtain liquidity to meet its obligations, particularly in periods of high volatility. I can't imagine why they would be expecting extreme volatility in the markets soon. So they're proposing changing the rules so that when the markets go crazy, all the biggest players just get a free pass on having their bets going wrong. Not you though. Marge will call you so fucking fast. They specifically refer to what happened with GameStop as an example of why they should all not have to deal with all this market volatility and should get a free pass on having a ton of risky bets and not having enough margin to cover them. Remember how much risky betting we're talking about here. Remember that it is 96 traded over the counter, meaning unregulated and unchecked. What they are specifically concerned about is something called counterparty risk. Because all of these hundreds of trillions of dollars of derivatives, they are not all just open trades that if you get it wrong, you lose all the money. It's a bunch of hedges and balances back and forth. And when they open a position for someone in this direction, they open their own position in the other direction to cover their asses. It's all very complicated. Yes, to all the haters, we know what notional value means. Y'all need to learn what counterparty risk means, like Bill Hwang learned real quick. See, back around when GameStop happened, Bill was doing a whole bunch of kind of secret over-the-counter trading of really high derivatives with a bunch of money that he didn't exactly have in, like the exact same thing the banks are doing on those sheets I'm showing you. But the problem is once his trades kind of started to go a little wrong and then like the GameStop thing happened and all the markets were crazy and he just kind of lost control of like the margin in his portfolio. And his firm went bankrupt pretty damn quick. But the problem is that the counterparty to almost all of his trades was Credit Suisse. And the moment that his firm, Archegos, ceased to exist, suddenly Credit Suisse was holding all of these trades open with no one on the other side to fulfill. Meaning what were balanced, hedged positions one day, the very next day were complete YOLOs, just like balls deep into whatever directions Bill had left them on the hook for. And if you didn't know, Credit Suisse is not with us anymore, largely because of Bill and Archegos. All of these hundreds of trillions of dollars of derivative risk rely on no one going bankrupt, because if any one of these big players gets into trouble, everyone else's bets are completely fucked. And that is why they're trying to argue that they should all get a pass on margin calls, more or less, when there's times of extreme market volatility. Because, like, that's just weird, random stuff. That's like, you know, like when the market doesn't play by the rules, we just like get a little pass until the rules are back on, right? Because, like, you know, we're good guys. So if you want to know more, you can search out this post by searching the title on the screen. This is in Super Stonk on Reddit. Homie wrote up an awesome summary, and then he even wrote a sample comment letter that you can submit if you want to submit.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I found that information pretty interesting. If you guys like daily crypto finance updates, subscribe to the channel. Have a great weekend until next time.